All right, before we get started with today's episode of the Sports Bros Podcast, I would like to give a shout out to Marcus Anderson and his business, A Cheesecake Will Do. That's right, a cheesecake will do. Mr. Anderson specializes in making homemade cheesecakes such as strawberry, blueberry, and raspberry. Also, you got to check out his specialty cheesecakes as well too, such as Samoa flavored, pecan pie, apple pie, and honey bun. That honey bun sounds real delicious. Also, it's Christmas, and you can't forget the holiday cheesecakes as well too. Check out his eggnog cheesecake. Oh, that sounds delicious. And I love eggnog despite what everybody says. But that's neither here nor there. You should check him out on Facebook at his like page, A Cheesecake Will Do. You can also hit him up via the telephone at 843-447-0958. And if you're hungry, why wait? Grab yourself a cheesecake because a cheesecake will do. Now on to this week's episode of the Sports Bros Podcast. Welcome to another episode of the Sports Bros Podcast, featuring the almighty B Live, the money man Scottie D, and your host, the head of creative, Eddy Kool. The Sports Bros Podcast is a sports podcast that's by the fans, for the fans. Talking sports, just the way you like it. And without any further ado, let's give it up for the Sports Bros. We have all of us back in one place once again at the same damn time. You see all these beautiful faces, Scottie D waving, B Live waving, making faces, and me, I'm just happy to be here. It is sweater season. It is blowing all kind of stuff up here in Northeast Ohio. But with that being said, welcome to another episode of the Sports Bros Podcast. This is episode number 134. Yeah, you know how we do last week's episode when people traveling can't get to be here and can't be there. But nevertheless, we're going to bring you a full action-packed episode this week of the Sports Bros Podcast. My name is Eddy Kool, a.k.a. the HOC up in this thing. And I have two of the best co-hosts in the world. Introducing first, the almighty B Live.
What's happening? What's going on in the world today? Eddy Kool. I know it's might be a little windy, a little cold, sweater season up in Northeast Ohio, but Eastern North Carolina, Mid-Eastern North Carolina, Fayetteville don't know what the world it wants to do. I've stepped out of my house twice, bundled up and sweat, and I had to go back inside. So but I can tell you one thing that's not happening in Ohio is them Harbaugh brothers is beating up on the state of Ohio. Oh boy, but we'll get into that a little bit later, but man. Oh, it is what it is. I got a lot of things I got to apologize for, but it's all right. But we're going to get into that later as well. One thing I won't do is apologize for my behavior at any point in time when it comes to the other guys. So go ahead and introduce him. I mean, you keep saying two of the best co-hosts. I don't see the second, but it's all right.
Well, B Live, as you said, it's real quiet up here in the state of Ohio. And with that being said, introducing the pride of Washington, Pennsylvania, none other than the one, the only, the money man, Scottie D.
Santa Claus is coming to town.
Oh,
Santa Claus is coming to town. And Christmas came early this past weekend for the reigning, defending, undisputed Atlantic Coast Conference champion, Pittsburgh Panthers. Yes, sir.
Oh,
woo! Hail to Pitt. They got it done, baby. Got it done. Somehow overlooked in the playoffs, but that's okay. It's moving on into the ball season. And B Live, I need to congratulate you.
Don't do that.
You kept your word, and Michigan beat Ohio State.
Hey.
So great call on that. You called that one a few weeks out. Give credit where credit is due. Great call on that one, and a great call whenever you said Alabama beating Auburn should drop them out of the top 5. Good call on that one as well.
Wow. See, here we go. And
Santa Claus is coming to town.
Eddy Kool, we'll get into that. We're gonna keep the order of the show. We'll get into that in just a moment because I got some explaining to do.
And okay. And one other thing.
Go ahead. Keep going.
Before we move.
But I'm the one that's long-winded though.
Yeah, I know. But this is kind of important. So it ended this past weekend. Hanukkah was this past week. I had to say Happy Hanukkah to Uncle Max and to all our other Jewish friends out there. Happy belated Hanukkah. Just wanted to mention that because Uncle Max is he's part of that little club that does the Hanukkah thing, and
the Hanukkah thing.
Yeah,
the Hanukkah
thing. And he's one of our loyal listeners. So Uncle Max, we love you. Happy Hanukkah.
I actually learned this past week. I do trivia on Fridays. I'm part of a trivia team. I'm not going to mention the name of the team because that's inappropriate. But learn the origin of where the celebration of Hanukkah. I learned that this past week. It was a question in trivia. I was close. I was very close. I actually thought I had the answer, but I was not sure. But I did actually know the answer of the trivia question about Hanukkah. So, and that's ingrained in my brain. So, honorary Jewish man right here. Cool. I don't know if that's the thing. Eddy Kool, Amtrak the thing before we go really off the track.
Hanukkah, Kenny Pickett, B-Live was right again. Maybe it's just another episode of the Sports Bros Podcast. It's just another episode of the Sports Bros Podcast, baby. And here it is. We're going to lead off with college football. That's right. College football. It was conference championship time this past weekend in the sport of college football. I refuse to call it the NCAA. I'm just going to call it college football because the NCAA is an organization and they do stupid stuff. Yeah, I said it. All right, fellas, so here we go. A little quick rundown. Alabama defeats Georgia. B-Live called it. Let's see. Cincy defeats Houston. Michigan stomps Iowa. And Utah, they beat Oregon again. All right. And then we got Baylor defeating Oklahoma State for the Big 12 title. Fellas, but what are we to make of this weekend in college football with the playoffs on the line? I'll start with you first, B-Live.
Let me go ahead and say this. I said it loud and clear. Mm-hmm. Alabama, shut me the hell up, and you're back in my top 5. And that's what you did. You went out there and you shut me the hell up. Now, let me put a pin in that because what incentive whatsoever did Georgia have to play to win? What incentive? Please. All the media outlets, everybody was screaming, Georgia's so dominant, their defense is the transcendental. You know what I'm talking about when it came to Georgia and their defense is the best ever, possibly, blah, 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 yada, yada. So they didn't even have to, they didn't have to show up and they were still in because it's Alabama and it's the SEC. And so just think of this, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. But if I knew that if I did not play to the top of my potential in that game, that would allow Alabama to get in, which would allow 2 teams to be in the college football playoff, which would double the payout that would go to SEC schools, which would double the payout that would go to my school. Why would I play hard? Yes, there's a couple things on the line. Yes, the SEC championship trophy and Kirby Smart getting that monkey off his back when it comes to Nick Saban. Yes, those are certain things. There's also the pride in the game, and I get that. I am not taking away from that whatsoever. But I'm going to tell you one thing that I would have done if I was on the college football playoff committee. If I was on the committee, and you know I don't like the committee, I would have kicked Georgia clean out the playoff.
Ooh, clean out.
I'd have made a statement right then and there. You don't get to back your way into the playoff just because.
It's not your job to make a statement. It's your job to put the 4 most deserving teams in there.
And you tell me right now. Yeah, yes. Because according to you, Scottie D, and according to all the people out there that want they want a 12-team playoff, this is a playoff game. The SEC championship is a playoff game. Georgia did not show up. They lost. They do not deserve to be in the playoff.
It wasn't a playoff game.
But if we were in a 12-team playoff right now, that could have been.
They wouldn't have been playing each other. They wouldn't have been playing each other.
Why not? Why not? Why?
Because they were already. Their
seedings
wouldn't have put them against each other in the first.
See,
round.
that's the problem. That's already going to be a problem. That's going to be the initial problem to start with when it comes to the 12-team playoff. You are still putting it in the hands of humans, and they're going to be the ones setting the polls. So guess what? This is the way you go. This is the way the playoff should be anyway, is leave it to the conference championships. And if the playoff was done the way it's supposed to be done, all 10 conference champions get in, and then you might throw in 2 byes. And guess what? That would put Georgia, after losing, as opposed to them being third, they would be ranked 11th. And that would give them incentive to play to win the game. Why?
They had incentive. They had incentive. But it's true. You can't tell me that.
I already mentioned.
Those kids didn't take a week off. Those kids didn't take a week off. They didn't take a week off. They got beat. They got beat. They didn't take the week off. They didn't say, you know what, it'd be nice to win this, but I'm not really worried about it. The kids didn't
take the week off. The coach did.
No way. This dude does not want to lose to Nick Saban, but Nick Saban is the best ever. He lost to the best ever on a championship. And that's what happens when you go against the best. The best win. That doesn't mean that they didn't try. You can't tell me that these guys sat around.
I would have punished the hell out of them. They don't deserve to be in there. They lost. Do you think Georgia is better than Michigan? We're about to find out.
Do you think they're better than Cincinnati?
I have no idea.
Do you think they're better than Michigan State, Ohio State, Oklahoma State, Pitt? They're better than all those other teams?
I don't know about Michigan State.
You think they are? Let you be honest. You think they are? You had them undecidedly number one the entire time for 8 weeks. You did your rankings, and now because they lost to Alabama, the best.
You know what I could easily do?
All that means nothing.
But he's hold on. Don't do that. Don't do the best coach ever.
That's what you said.
No. Don't do that best coach ever, because that ain't got nothing to do with the price of tea in China with what's going on right now. How? Why? No, it does not.
It's about the best coach in history in the championship game, and he lost. That doesn't mean he didn't try. That doesn't mean he didn't care.
Are you telling me that's the weight? That's how you vote? That's how you vote in these in these polls? You're voting because he's the best coach ever?
I vote that Georgia was the best team all year. That their defense didn't give up more than 7 points in the game all year. And one week it happened against the best team in the SEC for the past decade and the best coach ever. And all of a sudden,
doing that.
You don't want them in the top 4.
Stop saying decade. Stop saying decade. Stop saying decade. It doesn't matter what Alabama did in 2010. It doesn't matter what Nick said. I mean,
no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
Then why you keep saying it? The way you keep saying it.
He's the best. Because that's who they lost to. They didn't take a week off. You're telling me that they
lost to the 2000. They lost to the 2021 Alabama Crimson Tide.
Hold on, Scottie, go ahead. What you got to say?
If you're going to tell me that Georgia doesn't belong in the top 4,
no, you didn't get muted.
You are out of your mind. You're out of your mind.
Have you not listened to me this entire year? Yes, I'm out of my mind, and I want to make a statement.
But that's not the job of the committee to make a statement. That's not their job.
They've already been making a statement. They've been making a statement all year when they had Cincinnati not in it. They've already been making a statement.
Are they in it?
By the grace of God that other teams lost.
They're in it. They made it because they deserve it. And so does Georgia.
Tell me right now. Yeah, I want
your honest. I deserve to be more than Georgia.
I want your no. I want to. I want to stay right in the line of what you're talking about. I'm not going to argue my point anymore. I'm going to go with your point. If Oklahoma State beats Baylor, is Cincinnati in the playoff?
I don't know. Yeah, I think they are. Yeah, I do. I think Cincinnati is still in.
Boy,
they weren't going to. They didn't.
The committee has been trying to keep them out the entire year, even with the win against Notre Dame. They've been trying to keep them out. I guarantee you, they'd have kicked Cincinnati out of the curve.
Okay, but what we are agreeing on is that the four best teams, the four most deserving teams, I don't know if Cincinnati's the best, but they are the most deserving, are in it. The four most deserving are in the playoff this year. They got it right. So I don't even understand why we're
got
arguing.
Exposed. I'm gonna tell you the reason why I want.
So what? Alabama got exposed the week before, and if the kid from Auburn doesn't run out of bounds, Alabama's not in there.
Here's the thing. Here's the point I want to make. You leave too much to interpretation. Georgia did what they were supposed to do all season until this game. But you can now start to have that conversation of who did Georgia play? They've been making that argument all year.
Who'd Cincinnati play?
They beat Notre Dame. And Notre Dame is the number 5 team in the country right now. They beat number 24 and number 16, wherever you want to put them. They beat Houston. They beat SMU, Southern Methodist when they were ranked.
Oh wow.
They beat who else did they beat Indiana. Indiana had a down year.
Okay.
But
you're right, B-Live. Cincinnati did beat some ranked teams. You know, it wasn't top 5, top 10, but they did beat some ranked teams though.
But here's the thing.
Georgia didn't beat anybody ranked?
Name them.
Kentucky,
Alabama,
Clemson.
No, where? Okay, Clemson. Yes, they've made it back into the rankings.
Kentucky, they weren't ranked.
Is Kentucky ranked right now?
Well, they were when they played them. That was a point you made a second ago.
No, which point you want to make? Because you got to stick to one of them.
They beat the entire SEC and didn't allow more than 10 points. The SEC.
They did not beat the entire SEC.
Cincinnati. Yes, they did. Everybody that played in the SEC.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you right now, the SEC is not the best conference in college football this year.
It's better than Cincinnati's. Who's Cincinnati?
But here you go. But let's get the brass tacks. You just said the SEC is the most superior conference in football. They are not.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I said they beat everybody in the SEC, which is a superior conference.
Real quick, fellas.
Listen, here's the thing. If you think Georgia doesn't belong in this, if you think Georgia doesn't belong in the top,
I said what I said.
You're out of your mind.
I will stand by my statement. And the thing about it is,
evidently a room full of people that study the game and are voting on it.
And they've been wrong all year. They've been wrong all year. I was the one that was right that had Cincinnati in the whole time. You're
the one that took Alabama out of the top 5.
And my exact words were they were not playing like a top 5 team. Alabama, all you have to do is win and you're in. And that would shut me the hell up. Boom.
And they won, what did I do, Alabama? You leapfrogged them because Cincinnati beat East Carolina.
They beat Houston. They beat
the week Houston before they beat East Carolina.
And the week before that, they beat Southern Methodist.
Beat Auburn on the road.
Week before that, they beat Notre Dame.
And you're criticizing the committee for leaving Georgia, who went from number 1.
I'm not criticizing the committee at all. I said if I was on the committee, I'd kick Georgia out. I'm not criticizing the committee. The reason why I said that is because guess what? Georgia did not have the incentive. They did not. You cannot sit here and tell me that they have
another W for me, Eddy Kool.
Jesus.
Chalk up another W for me,
man.
Chalk up another win.
I am. Oh my Lord.
Are you appalled, live?
I'm appalled. I'm O'Brien. I'm all of that.
O'Brien. O'Brien. I like that one. That's hella funny. All right, so moving right along, fellas. So from the looks of it, the scene is set. All right. Number 1, Alabama will play number 4, Cincinnati, in the Cotton Bowl. Number 2, Michigan will play number 3, Georgia, in the Orange Bowl. All right. So now that we know that, we know where the games will be played, we know who's doing what, who's going where. Let's have some Heisman talk real fast, all right? So we saw that Bryce Young this past weekend. A lot of people say, well, you know what? I think them defeating Georgia, I think Bryce Young may have just won the Heisman Trophy. But we also have a list of finalists that came out, fellas, as well too. But before we get into that, do you think there's anyone that can unseat Bryce Young as the potential Heisman winner?
No. I think it's his. I actually think that the final drive the previous week against Auburn, where they came back, that Alabama was down for all but the last 30 seconds of the game. I think that one kind of put him back as the favorite. And then I think he slammed the door shut by his performance against Georgia this past week.
The Heisman is biased because it's biased. You know why? Like quarterback this, quarterback that, quarterback. The best player in all of college football. Go Big Blue. Let's go Blue. Aiden Hutchinson. That dude is a monster and a beast. And he is the best player in all of college football. Congratulations to these quarterbacks and all of this and blah, 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 because they get to put stats on the board and because they have the ball in their hands all the time. But when you pure athletic skill and being able to change the game in a position that doesn't normally get to change the game and affect the game that much, and his team is in the playoff because of his dominant performance all year long, Aiden Hutchinson. But the thing about it is, no, there isn't a chance because it's biased. Aiden Hutchinson gets the invite to go to New York. Congratulations. Here's your consolation prize. You're not going to win. But at some point in time, we got to address the elephant in the room. Yes, I'm being highly controversial this week, Scottie D. I do apologize if my out of my mind statements bother you. But that's what I don't know. We've done 134 episodes. I'm sorry. Let me do this real quick. Yes, Bryce Young, he is a top-notch quarterback and is well deserving of the Heisman Trophy winner this year. He's been spectacular, and also according to all of the media outlets, the sports conglomerates, and all the experts, I will 100% agree on what they have to say because that is who I am as the mediocre B-Live. No, I'm not the mediocre B-Live. I am the almighty B-Live, and I said what I said. Aiden Hutchinson should win the Heisman. He's the best player in college football. Try.
Well, you say that it's such a quarterback bias.
Yeah, it is.
Well, who won it last year?
Oh, you're about to say, I know you're about to say who won it last year. Yes. Yes.
Devontae Smith, wide receiver.
And that's one. Before him, name the quarterback.
Mostly quarterbacks, and occasionally running back. Mark Ingram. I mean, occasionally.
How long ago did he play?
Occasionally, a running back will win it.
Charles Woodson won it one year. Didn't Derrick Henry win it?
Charles Woodson is 62 years old. How long ago was he? What do you mean? Charles Woodson, I'm playing.
Devontae Smith's 23.
Yes, he was. Yes,
and actually, I would like, and I do think I would like to see what's the kid from Michigan State, Walker, the
Kenneth Walker the third.
I would like to see him get a little bit, maybe an invite to New York. I think them not playing in a conference championship kind of hurt them too because they were. He was rolling. He had a pretty solid season. His number.
You know what hurt him? 24 yards against Ohio State, losing 56-7. That's what killed him. Yeah. Ohio State killed him. He's definitely up there. I wish he would have gotten the invite. But yeah, that one game against.
We know there's a bias. We already know there's a bias. There's no way they're going to give it to Kenny Pickett. They don't give it to Pitt guys. I mean, Larry Fitzgerald had that thing locked and loaded in 2003. They give it to Oklahoma.
I'm the one out of my mind. I'm the one out of my mind.
Kenny Pickett out there breaking every Dan Marino record available.
He says I'm the one out of my mind. And
Kenny Pickett, baby.
5 minutes later, he comes
the quarterback of the reigning, defending, undisputed Atlantic Coast Conference champions. All roads lead to Kenny Pickett. Yes, sir.
As B-Live throws up in a bag, here are the Heisman finalists, all right? We got Bryce Young, the quarterback from Alabama. Kenny Pickett, quarterback from the University of Pittsburgh, or Pitt, simply put, C.J. Stroud from Ohio State, and the aforementioned Aiden Hutchinson. Those are the 4 finalists just announced for the Heisman Trophy. Fellas, are we excited for the playoffs? Are we excited?
Oh, I'm very much so. Even though I say, yes, I'm out of my mind. Yes, I like I said, but yes, to your chagrin, Scottie D, the 4 best teams are in.
Do we see Alabama, Georgia again? Do we see that game again?
No,
probably not. No.
We don't see Alabama, Georgia again.
Nope.
I think Michigan wins.
I think Michigan wins. I really do think Michigan wins. They came out in dominating fashion. They're trending up, while Georgia finally got their teeth kicked in, and Michigan is no slouch. They're no slouch. They are trending in the right direction. They handled business against Ohio State, and then they dismantled Iowa. It wasn't even close. They are making a statement, and I think Georgia's next in line. I think if I'm comparing coaches, I'm Harbaugh. You last year I was firing your ass.
Yeah,
you was fired last year. But this year, you redeemed yourself. And you know what? Let's go blue. I have Michigan. You know what? I'm gonna make a bold statement because I like making bold statements.
Ladies and gentlemen, B-Live's bold statement.
Michigan for it all. I feel like it's there. I think both Alabama and Georgia are sleeping on Michigan. I think they're underestimating them. I think Georgia they were too cavalier against Alabama. They couldn't stop a nosebleed against a contender. Yeah, I will say it myself. Clemson was a shell of their former selves this year. So that's not really a big signature win for Georgia early this year. And all of that, I'm erasing everything Georgia did for the first 12 games of the season because of the way they played in the SEC championship. So now, hey, again, Georgia, all you got to do to shut me up is to beat Michigan.
And beat them soundly.
Can you do it?
And beat them soundly at that.
Can you do it? Can you bring that defense that everybody touted? Again, name who Georgia played this year outside of Alabama.
Georgia Tech.
The SEC least.
Yeah, the SEC least. You're right about that. Real quick, fellas. We are at the end, well, almost at the end of the college football season, but there's been a lot of moving and shaking. B-Live, Brent Venables, he's leaving Clemson and he's going to Oklahoma, right?
Yes, he is.
If I'm not mistaken, and I think Mario Cristobal, he's leaving Oregon, and I think he's headed to Miami, if I'm not mistaken.
They are in talks with that. That has not been finalized, but Manny Diaz is out.
Okay,
he's no longer the head coach of Miami.
So 8-6 Manny Diaz, and then we have, I think, the shocker surprise of them all, Lincoln Riley going to Southern Cal.
That shocked me, but also Brian Kelly and his newfound Southern accent going to LSU. Did you hear him at that basketball game?
I didn't catch it. Was it a train wreck?
It was.
Where did that accent come from?
It was a little cringy.
It was horrible. It's almost like he was like he really wanted to try to sound like a Coach O. Like
my family and I. Yeah.
I was like, where did this come from?
Ouch.
And the greatest fans and and I can't wait to play at Tiger Stadium. I'm like, where is this? Where is this?
Very cringeworthy.
Scott,
I will say this though.
And then he wants to bring a championship. He wants to bring a national championship to the college football team. Oh boy. Yes,
it was one of those press conferences. Oh God. Hey, Scottie.
No. This wasn't the press conference. He was on the floor of the basketball game.
Yeah,
he was in. Yeah, he was in. Oh boy.
Wow. Hey, Scottie D, what are your thoughts on these coaching hires and relocations, and everybody's moving all over the place? What's your thoughts on it?
Well, I'm not sure what prompted Brian Kelly to leave, because you would think like Notre Dame is like one of those jobs you move up to, that everybody wants to move up, and then you get to Notre Dame and then you move away from Notre Dame. He took a lot of criticism, and I kind of feel like it was a little bit unfair with how he sent a text late to his team on Sunday evening. It was like 10 o'clock. He sent a text out. He was planning on meeting the team at 7 o'clock the next morning, and the word leaked out of his accepting the other job. And at that point, he kind of had to do something, because the players are finding out on TV and on social media. And I don't think he wanted it to go down that way. And people were criticizing him because he didn't address the team until after sending the text. But I think he kind of had to do something on Sunday night before that Monday meeting. It's just one of those unfortunate things that comes with social media and that whole process. But
here's the thing. Here's what he should have done. He should have done nothing. He should have went with Notre Dame. No, with that part too. But what he should have done, everybody knew that it wasn't a secret that they were having conversations. Let's put it this way. I don't know, maybe he didn't disclose where he was at or whatever. He doesn't have to, understandable. But what do you expect the man to do while he's having the conversation? Like, hold on. Let me text my players real quick to see how they feel about it. Here's the thing. This is what you do when it comes to treating the media outlets and stuff. You let it be rumors, and then you confirm it with your players. What made it worse was the fact that he sent a text to his team that also got leaked and made it worse. If he'd have said nothing and just went to the 7 o'clock meeting in the morning and addressed the rumors, like, hey, fellas, check this out. I know you've probably heard a lot of things, but I want you to know that this is what's going on.
They should have been the first to know.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't always work that way. But I think, and the reason I don't have a problem with it is because no matter how they found out, some of them are going to be mad. They're going to be mad because they agreed to go play for him. And some of them, no matter how they find out, they're going to be upset. So when the rumor comes out on Sunday and the news is spreading, some of these guys are going to say, I ain't going to no meeting on Monday morning. And then he would not have had to communicate with them at all. I think that I just don't have a problem with him sending that text. I don't like the fact that I was allowed to read it because I was private and it got leaked. But the fact that it's out there, that's the world we live in today, this whole social media world. Well, and so I think he took a lot of criticism on that. That was, I didn't have a problem with it.
You're sending a text to 18 to 21-year-old kids.
Yeah.
Of course it's going to get leaked.
Sure.
One of the players looked at this like, this MF here, what?
Mm-hmm.
I had to find out what. And the thing about it is, rumor mill, everything, the players probably knew, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But when you send a text, you've now given an additional piece to the masses. If he didn't send that text and treated it as such with his players as he already had it scheduled, it wouldn't have been a story. It would have been, he accepted a job here, people are upset. Now he accepted a job that he didn't tell anybody about, and now it's proven because he sent this text message to all of his players. And so now he's a douchebag because he didn't discuss it with his players. That's how the story got turned, just because he sent a text.
I have a bigger problem with the Southern accent than I do the text message. Agreed. Like, I kid you not, I saw it. I immediately text 3 of my good LSU fans. So what the hell is this?
And the report to me immediately. And they did. And they laughed. They were like, what in the world? And they said it, and one of my dudes, Brian Lynch, he said it's the culture. I was like, man, if you don't get the out of here,
damn coach, this is a badass accent. That's what it is. I'll tell you what though, I sure hope Lincoln Riley finds a defensive coordinator, because in the Pac-12 they play defense as opposed to the Big Ten where they just. We're going to score 90 points a game and run for 300 yards. So I just hope Lincoln Riley finds a damn defensive coordinator.
Well, what
I think he's going to find plenty of quarterbacks. There's going to be a lot of quarterbacks coming out there.
Oh, yeah, all kind of quarterbacks. Yeah, he's on
Baylor and Oklahoma State played some defense in that Big 12 championships. That's probably why Oklahoma wasn't in there, because them boys they might be playing a little bit of defense. But yeah, I will say this. I will say this. My official statement for Coach Venables going to Oklahoma. Thank you. Thank you for the 10. Thank you. Thank you for the 10 years that you provided for us here at Clemson. 2 national championships. You revolutionized our defense. Our talent pool is top notch, and I think we will continue to be able to do so because of your tutelage, because you are definitely well deserving of this job. And I wish you nothing but the best. Hey, do what it do. Handle your business. You deserve it. That man got one hefty raise. He went from $2.5 million to it has not been reported yet. But as soon as it is reported, I'm going to bring that contract that's going to be in the millions of dollars.
You made my bottom lip quiver. You made my bottom lip quiver on that one.
And see you in 2035, Oklahoma versus Clemson, the first of a home and home. Yes, sir.
God, that's a long ways out. That is
2035. I don't even plan on being alive by that one.
Oh, no. Knock on wood. We're not going to say that. We're going to be alive.
Long time.
The Sports Bros podcast will still be here. To what capacity? I don't know, but we're still going to be here. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everybody listening, that does it for this week's college football talk. Coming up next, week 13 of the National Football League.
And now, our favorite part of the show, the choices of the voices.
Once again, thank you to the wonderful and ever so lovely Miss Button for introducing our favorite portion of the show. You heard the woman. It is the choices of the voices. We've done this over 134 plus times. Well, actually 129. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. The choice of the voices. We are back. Yes. I love this portion of the show. And with that being said, Scottie D, what's the question for this week's choices of the voices?
Well, it was asked 2 weeks ago, who did we think was the current, as of then, last weekend now, MVP of the NFL, should the NFL season be over as of right now, which is not. We still have a very important month coming up. But who do we think is the current favorite to win the MVP? Because it doesn't have a clear-cut favorite like it has in years past. And I actually had a few people tell me off the record what they thought, and it was over Thanksgiving break, and I don't even remember what they said. But we did have a few answers, and one of our loyal listeners who's in the Facebook Who's Gal also gave me his answer as well. His ridiculous answer a number of times, and we'll tell you who that is. But Eddy Kool, what we got here? Who said what here? And actually, was there a couple answers on our page, the Sports Bros page, or was it just on mine this week?
It was all on yours, Scott, because I did comb it this time, so I didn't miss nothing. All right, it's gonna be short. It's gonna be a short one, but it's gonna be a good one. All right. The Hall of Famer Uncle Max. He says at this juncture, I would have to say there's a pretty strong case for Jonathan Taylor. Would love to see a running back win it for a change. Yeah.
I don't hate the answer, but I don't think when you look a year ago and Derrick Henry ran for 2,000 yards and that wasn't good enough to win an MVP award, much like B-Live was referencing the Heisman thing earlier, this is turning into a quarterback award. And, if Derrick Henry couldn't win the award last year with 2,000 yards on the ground, I don't think Taylor's going to get very, very serious consideration. But I love the way he's playing. He's just turning out big game week in and week out. So I do like the choice. I just don't think the voters will go with it.
Nah, what say you, Be Live?
It has to be but this is a great answer. It's the right answer. And And it's sad that, like Scottie D said, because it's such a bias. I don't think Tom Brady is having. I mean, statistic wise, it looks good. It looks good. But I feel like when it comes to who means more to a team, value, most valuable, irreplaceable. I don't know.
You know what, B-Live, you could be onto something there, because if the Colts say they run the table like we were actually talking about them doing, if they win 5 games or even 4 games in December and they get into the playoffs hot, yeah, maybe he does get some consideration if he keeps turning out the yardage and he's the focal point of the offense, and Carson Wentz can run play action off of him. Then yeah, maybe he will get some votes. Who knows if some of these quarterback favorites get injured or slump or something. Maybe we do see that. I wouldn't hate it.
No, I wouldn't either. Not at all.
Nope, not hate it at all. All right, we got Matty Ice Martin Tracy. He says, duh. Tom Brady at 45 is cruising to another Super Bowl. Prove me wrong, he says. And to all those, and to all those system quarterback naysayers, he invented the system. TB12. Well, I have noticed throughout this year there might be a consensus MVP, as I hear people chanting his name everywhere. And he said something about Brandon Bolden.
Yeah, we're not gonna just.
Let's go, Brandon. Let's go, Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon Bolden. No.
Let's not.
We're not about to do that.
Not. We will not. We vow that we would not step into that realm here at the Sports Bros Podcast. The ridiculousness. The ridiculous. Matty Ice. Duh. No, there ain't no duh. Yes, you have a compelling argument with this stat-wise right now. He is leading the NFL in passing yards and other categories, and so yes, there is a good valid argument. I'm still once again where that whole value comes into play. I think that as a collective, as of who he has on the team, I mean, he has an argument. I'll put him in it. Tom Brady will get some votes for MVP. Yeah. Definitely. I'm trying to hate and I can't. I should. I'm really hating more on Matty Ice because he's just Matty Ice.
Yeah, Matty Ice is back.
Yeah, Lord, prove me wrong. Cruising to another Super Bowl, I can definitely prove you wrong because there's quite a few teams I feel like that could beat Tampa Bay. I feel like that there's a vulnerability with Tampa Bay. Their defense is not as strong as they were last year. And I think that is going to be their end-all, do-all. I think those games that they won last year, they don't win in the playoffs this year. I think Green Bay gives them trouble. I think Dallas gives them trouble. I definitely think Arizona gives them trouble. I think the Rams get it together with the amount of talent that the Rams have would give Tampa Bay trouble. Just because they're cruising to the division title, yes, they're cruising to that. They're definitely cruising to that.
Smooth.
Because it's just boy. Is there a competent quarterback in the NFC South? And yes, I said it because Cam Newton, you can't go 4 for 21, bro. I think that's more Joe Brady than anything, but you really can't go 4 for 21. So I'm gonna need you to just do just a slight bit better. Use the two quarterback system. Cam, bring the energy. PJ Walker, do some things that people aren't expecting. That's what made us good against Arizona because nobody knew what to expect from PJ Walker. And then we stuck in Cam Newton. That was a beautiful thing.
Yep, beautiful thing. All right, moving right along, we got friend to the show, JR Speaks, and he says, hashtag.
He ain't gonna be a friend of the show much longer. Keep going with this cylinder.
He said Dak Prescott. I'm joking. He said, but for real, Matthew Stafford. This was at press time. This was at the time. So things have changed. So he says Matt Stafford. Matty Ice says Tom, Edward, Gerald, Patrick, Carmichael, Fitzgerald Brady the third. And Uncle Max says Jonathan Taylor. I'm going to get his whole name right one day. So
Who did I tell you earlier? Trey Duke said he said Dak Prescott. Well, he didn't mean. They said Dan Quinn somehow is the co-MVP. Who else did he tell me?
Let's see. He said, looking at it right here, he said Aaron Rodgers is the co-MVP.
Aaron Rodgers.
With Dan Quinn. Don't know how the hell that's going on.
Aaron Rodgers, solid argument.
And then I think not as
whatever.
much. And then I think he said Taylor Heineke is a close second. Now he might not be out of his mind about Taylor Heineke, because just like B-Live said earlier, there's an energy in the nation's capital.
He's out of his mind.
He's out of his mind?
Yeah, he's out of his mind.
He's not.
Taylor Heineke is not getting MVP votes.
Probably.
He's not getting MVP votes. Yeah, you're right. Aaron Rodgers is.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
I hate to say it, but I think Aaron Rodgers is probably the answer right now, as of right this moment. And for some of what we talked about earlier, did we get everybody else? I'm sorry, I just kind of jumped in there. That's
it. That's it.
Okay.
Shout out to Uncle Max, Martin Tracy, JR, and Trey Dizzle coming to you live from the Facebook. What'd you call this, Scottie D? The what?
The Who's Gal, the Pokey.
Yeah, the Pokey, the Who's
the penitentiary,
the pen, the joint, the clink, if you will, for their participation in this week's Choices of the Voices. All right, Scottie D, you said finish your statement.
I'm gonna have to say Aaron Rodgers, as much as I want to smash his face with the heel of my boots. I don't like Aaron Rodgers at all, and he's a liar face when it came to the COVID thing. But when he was out with COVID, the team suffered, and when he's in there, he's just the best. He just wins. He's got so much control over the offense. He doesn't get. I think they're trending towards Green Bay going to the Super Bowl. As much as I hate saying that, as much as I want to kick him in the shin bones, but I think right now he is the most valuable player in the NFL. He's the best in the league right now. I think I do.
And for every reason that Scottie D hates Aaron Rodgers and wants to punch him in the throat and the face and all that, heel and whatever you talk about. That's what I love about this version of Aaron Rodgers. He gives zero, nothing. He has zero to give. There's nothing in his pockets, and he's winning. That's all I require from the leader of my team. I could care less. That's why it makes me so upset that my Panther fans, even when we went 15-1, they still managed to complain about the way my man dressed. Who cares?
Oh, he dresses bad.
There you go.
He dressed weird, but played phenomenal. I'll say that, man. When he was on.
It's whatever. Like, people attributed that as to why he. No, man.
So is he your pick, Cam VP for MVP?
No. Let's not do that.
Cam VP.
If you give me a moment,
I'm back.
Let me go ahead and do this real quick, because I do owe an apology to Hunter Simboli. I owe an apology to Hunter Simboli. I also owe an apology to the Hall of Famer Uncle Max for not having Alabama in my top 5. So I want to announce that publicly on the air that here's my apology for that. Yes, I counted them out, but I want to put that. But I did not apologize to you. Anyway, shut up. Anyway, shut. So, anyway,
he went full on Vince McMahon there.
He did.
Anyway, my pick. I'm with Uncle Max with this. Jonathan Taylor, bruh. Come on. 100%. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Let me throw the stats at you. After 13 games, he has 1,348 rushing yards. Where's that total? Good Lord, I lost that quickly. Where my stats went to? 1,348 rushing yards with 16 touchdowns. And he's on top of that, he's got 36 receptions for 336 receiving yards. So he's doing it 2 different ways. Like, how do you stop this man, Jonathan Taylor, and he's on 2 of my fantasy leagues.
Oh, here we go. Nobody cares.
Tell you,
You're giving me good stats and good information. You ruined it with fantasy football.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's go. I'm in first place in one of my leagues. I'm going to be first place in another league. Oh, yeah. That's the Sports Bros Podcast football.
I keep forgetting to change my lineup in this league. I'm kind of suffering from it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, though. But Jonathan Taylor, he's for damn sure my MVP.
I think I lost to Eddy Kool last week when I forgot to take a guy that was on IR off the starting lineup.
Hey, that's poor management.
It was
loss is a loss. Yeah,
it was poor management.
Things happen. For me, it's going to be a toss up between
Baker Mayfield.
Yep.
Wow.
No. It's going to be a toss up between between Jonathan Taylor and I'm picking Zacharias from the Falcons. No, I'm joking. I'm picking it's a toss up between Jonathan Taylor and Aaron Rodgers. But when you say the most value to their team from a talent standpoint and what they can do, I'm going to have to go with the bad man, the discount double check man himself, the Hingle McCringleberry celebration guy himself, the one man in the history of all professional sports who can throw his team's management under the bus and still have a job. I'm going to say Aaron Rodgers. Because when Aaron Rodgers is on the field, he makes things happen, he makes plays, and he puts his team in a great chance to win week in and week out. Now, he's guaranteed 2, maybe 3 dud games a year, but other than that, autopilot, the reigning, defending, most valuable player of the NFL.
No Kyler Murray from us. No Kyler Murray.
Kyler fell off. He fell off.
I don't think he fell off. He just got hurt.
He got hurt. Yeah,
he got hurt. He was hurt. That's the only thing about it is that if he didn't get hurt, he was already up there.
The one that he still could. He still could.
Yeah, he still could.
The one that had real high up there that you can't lose to the Steelers, bro. Lamar Jackson. Like I had him up there. So it's just. I mean, to his team, he's like irreplaceable right now, and he's going to get him to the playoffs. But yeah, it's not been pretty. But yeah, now when it comes to Aaron Rodgers, it's a double entendre when Stephen A. Smith says he's a bad man because he's a bad man on the field and off the field.
Oh boy!
And for those people out there, real quick, I'm gonna go ahead and say this real quick. Aaron Rodgers may have lied to us when he was on the media.
Liar.
And Antonio Brown may have federal charges for getting a fake vaccination card. So they are not the same. So let's simmer down on the whole. One is this and one is that.
No, they're not the same, but they both are deception. And Aaron Rodgers should have got more than a $25 fine. Let's just put it out there like that.
Well, yeah, it should have been more than
$25.
Yeah, that's what it was to him.
Yeah,
it was $15,000. And what was it? Who's your boy that untucked his shirt and got more of a fine?
CeeDee Lamb.
Oh man, he had a hell of a game this past week too. By the way, but yeah, let's keep it pushing, keep it moving. But yeah, man, oh man, MVPs.
Yes, Micah Parsons, he should be MVP. What am I thinking?
D-Roy, defensive rookie of the year. That's it. Defensive rookie of the year. That's it.
Defensive player of the year.
Yeah, Michael Parsons is a bad man.
Yeah, I'm saying he should be in the running for the whole kit and caboodle. Yeah, he's doing damage. No doubt about that.
Yeah, he should receive votes as defensive rookie of the year, defensive player of the year, and MVP. Scottie D. Jerry got it right. He got it right this time.
Got it right.
Yep, he got it right this time. All right, with that being said, what is on tap for next week's Choices of the Voices?
All right, so next week, the question. Who is your second favorite sports bro? Eddy Kool or B Live? Your second favorite sports bro between Eddy Kool and B Live. That'll be our question of the week for next week.
Let's try that again. This is let's tone in reality. That piece of paper right there, just throw that away and let's try that again. Come. Let's try that again.
Be another W for me. We know that. All right. So back on topic, back in my lane. What Heisman Trophy winner went on to have who you feel was the most disappointing pro career? Heisman Trophy winner that had a disappointing pro career. Now, having said that, just think about how I'm phrasing the question, because, Eric Crouch won the Heisman for Nebraska and got picked in like the 6th round and was out of the league in like a year and a half. That really wasn't disappointing because we weren't expecting anything of him, or we weren't expecting a whole lot of Tebow. I don't even know how Josh McDaniel picked him in the 1st round. So we're talking more expectation compared to how their careers panned out, more so than like Charlie Ward didn't even make it into the NFL.
Right. It's one of those things where the transition, like a great college player does not make a great pro player, but there's some people that have transcended that we were like, okay, this dude is that dude. Wow. So I see you with that. There'd be some interesting answers with that, and not one person better say Cam VP. Let's go ahead and get that out of the way. But we're fighting anyway. Yes, sir.
That'll give us something to talk about next week, Eddy Kool. What else are we doing here this evening or on this episode?
Choices of the voices. Choices of the voices. See ya next week.
Okay, boys, let's bring it home with a round of pepper.
All right, you heard the woman. It's time for us to go home and get what I call the hell up out of here. But before we go, we got another round of pepper. You know how we do it. 3 topics, rapid fire style, kind of, sort of, not really. We're here to enlighten, engage, educate, and entertain. I think I swapped the last 2, but that's neither here nor there. And I got some history for us, fellas, and I'll go first, all right? On this day in history, back in 1996, the Texas Longhorns defeat the number 3 ranked Nebraska Cornhuskers by 37-27 in the first ever Big 12 championship game. A few notable names, all right? Texas quarterback James Brown, not I feel good, James Brown, but quarterback James Brown. He passed for a career best 353 yards as he completed 19 of 28 passes, and a fellow by the name of Priest Holmes ran all up and down the Cornhuskers as he ran the ball for 120 yards and 3 touchdowns. And the Longhorns, they upset the defending national champion Cornhuskers. So that's what happened on this day in history back in 1996. Over to you, Scottie D.
96. Wow. Mm-hmm. So, good news, Be Live. We are getting a rematch between Tyron Woodley and Jake Paul coming up here real soon. Tommy Fury pulled out of the fight, and we are getting that rematch in the squared circle. Jake Paul, Tyron Woodley too. If you remember the first time, Tyron Woodley almost knocked him out, but it didn't happen. He lost by decision, had to get the Jake Paul tattoo on his middle finger. Man, if ever a sporting event has you psyched up, it's got to be this one. Jake Paul, Tyron Woodley coming up. Oh, when is that? December 18th. That's pretty soon. Be Live, over to you.
I wonder how much the payout is. Because Tyron Woodley got to be doing it for the money at this point. Got to be.
Let's see.
I don't
He's offering
$500,000
if Woodley can knock him out. So let's see.
Over to you, Be Live.
Man. I'm
Sweet science.
I'm knocking him the hell out. I promise you that. He been knocked out. Anyway, this will be my final segment of the year.
All right. We're glad to have you this year. I'm thanking you.
You being hella disrespectful. Almost cussed for real. Let me try this again.
Go ahead.
This will be, I think I've made my point this year when it comes to college football playoff games that we did not know existed. This will be my final segment because guess what? The college football playoffs are set. But it is bowl season. And with the way things are set up, I believe the committee did get it right. And now we get to see consolation prizes. We get to see the consolation bracket when it comes to who's going to emerge as the best team to not make the playoffs. So there's 3 select games I picked out that should have the ire and the awe of the college football world. We're going to start off with the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl that will put together the Ohio State Cowboys, the runner-up of the Big 12 Conference.
Ohio State?
Oklahoma State. I do apologize. Oklahoma State, the Cowboys. I know what I said. I'm tired. You getting on my nerves. You got me flustered. I was flowing and you interrupted. And so Oklahoma State Cowboys sitting at 11-2, the runner-up of the Big 12 Conference. They will be facing the number 5 Notre Dame Fighting Irish, the team that was left out because they decided they didn't want to be a part of a conference. And so therefore, they didn't play that extra game that could have made a statement to get them in. They probably would have made it in because Alabama beat Georgia, but blah, blah, blah. That's what I said before, that Georgia should have got it kicked all the way out. But this could be a big statement game moving on into the future because Notre Dame does have a new head coach. I believe it was their defensive coordinator that now got moved up to head coach. Was it Freeman? Coach Freeman?
Marcus Freeman.
Marcus Freeman. So can he make a statement with the future of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish football program? Or I'm 40. I'm a grown man. Can he show that Oklahoma State is a force to be reckoned with into the future? Eddy Kool, the ball.
That's Scottie D's buddy, the mullet man.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
Oh, Mike Gundy. If you don't win, if you never win a championship, you're forever ingrained as being a man and being 40.
1 yard line, he couldn't win a championship.
Such a shame.
First down and 1.
Whew. Damn shame.
All right, game of inch.
Yep. All right. We talked about Heisman talk earlier, and so on this day in history, back in 1985, Bo Jackson wins the 51st version of the Heisman Trophy. His stats for that year: he had 1,786 yards, 6.4 yards per carry. That's a lot, and 17 touchdowns. I sit here and imagine what happened if Bo Jackson never got hurt.
He would have settled the debate of who was the greatest running back of all time.
That he would have. So
I think that would have been the answer.
Yep, on this day in history, Bo Jackson, the man, wins the Heisman. Over to you, Scottie D.
All right, so bad news came out last week with Major League Baseball deciding that they were going to lock the players out. Labor strife in Major League Baseball. Now, they say, we've had peace since 1994, the year they canceled the World Series, by the way. And yeah, I guess they have, but it just doesn't feel like they talk about it every year. These guys can't seem to ever get in the same neighborhood when it comes to discussion. The owners and the players fighting back and forth. And it's not about the money, but it's always about the money. And I tell you something, guys, 4th of July week, the Yankees are supposed to be coming to Pittsburgh. And if they cancel that game, I'm done with you. MLB, I'm done with you because I already bought tickets for that game.
Ooh,
Buccos and Yankees, and what's probably going to be a World Series preview next season.
Oh, it's good.
2022.
Stop.
You better not cancel the games, MLB. Be live.
All right, my second pepper point, because before he go into that ridiculousness, the Yankees pay one player more than the Pirates pay their entire team. But anyway,
that is actually true. That's absolutely true.
Golly.
And it used to be a Pirate, by the way. It was a former Pirate, Cole.
Oh my goodness. Second consolation game that we're going to be looking at for this bowl season. And it's Sugar, the All-State Sugar Bowl, which will feature the Big 12 champion Baylor Bears sitting at 11-2, ranked number 7, going against Lane Kiffin and the Ole Miss Rebels sitting at number 8, sitting at 10-2. What will happen? Will Baylor start off next season's with a bit of momentum, saying, "Hey, We win. We're going to put the Big 12 back on the map. We ain't talk about Oklahoma. We ain't talk about Texas. They can good kick rocks to the SEC. We're going to show you how to beat an SEC team when it comes to Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss. Lane Kiffin's like, hey, I belong up there with the big boys. And so this could be a statement win for them. So let's see. Bears, Rebels, All-State Sugar Bowl, Eddy Kool, the ball.
All right, and I'm receiving the ball. All right, so here we go. My third and final pepper point on this day in history. Oh, I'm sorry. No, my third and final pepper point. Happy birthday to the legend himself, Larry Bird. All right, Larry Bird, he was born on this day. And Larry Bird, he's a Hall of Famer, college and pros. He's also a 3-time NBA champion, 3-time regular season MVP, 12-time All-Star, 1998 Coach of the Year with the Indiana Pacers, and he's a member of the 50th and 71st anniversary teams. I ain't got too much to say about Larry Bird. You heard. Just say the man happy birthday. That's all. Oh,
happy birthday. Happy birthday to Larry Bird, almost as good as Magic Johnson. All right, my final point is that there was a big story going. I know, Laker fan, Magic fan. Big story going around the NFL this past weekend, and particularly here in Western Pennsylvania. Excuse me. That Big Ben Roethlisberger said that he might be retiring at the end of this year. He told some former players and friends that he probably isn't coming back. I'm confused. Didn't we already know this? Didn't we already talk about this like several times on this very show that this is Roethlisberger's last season and the Steelers are looking to the future? Why is this news? I thought we already knew this.
He wanted to say it on his own terms.
Yeah,
because
the writing was said it yet, but I thought that because this is the last year on his contract, he took a big pay cut coming into this season so that they could make one last run. I thought that we already decided this. Yeah.
He wanted to put it on his terms. He wants somewhat of a little farewell because everybody's already. we already wrote that down, bro.
To be honest, I'm actually a little bit sad. I'd like to see him give him a 5-year extension, but that's neither here or there.
Wow.
Be live over to you.
Wow.
Maybe Kenny Pickett will be playing there next year.
Kenny.
Hey, that very well could happen. Now, let me finish this off in style because, I think my promo game is getting up there when it comes to these consolation prizes, these games that we got coming on. My third and final consolation prize game this bowl season is the Rose Bowl presented by Capital One Venture Card. And that features none other than the Utes of Utah, your Pac-12 champions, versus the Ohio State Buckeyes. They came up one game short of the Big Ten championship. Is Ohio State still Ohio State? Will they run roughshod on the Utes that beat Oregon not once but twice this year?
What is a Ute?
Well, we don't know about that. Can Utah, they showed Ohio State how to beat Oregon because Ohio State couldn't figure it out earlier this season. But can the Utes also beat Ohio State and solidify their mark on this season that was somewhat marred by the losses to BYU, Oregon State, and San Diego State? Woo! But this is a step in the right direction. You beat Oregon twice and Ohio State the same season. You look towards the future.
I think they do it.
It could very well happen. We shall see. These are the bowl games that I'm looking forward to that are outside of the college football playoff. Yes, sir.
All right.
No love for the Peach Bowl, but that's okay. Hail to Pitt.
Nobody cares.
Kenny.
ACC champion.
Kenny. All right.
The reigning, defending, undisputed.
You've been waiting for this the entire time we've been running this podcast.
I understand why you did that all the time. It's fun to say that. It's fun to do that. We
Isn't
got a
it
whole
though?
year of this. We got a whole
Isn't
year of
it
this
though, mother? Oh,
cousin. All right, we go.
You felt that that, right?
I sure did. We all got our pepper points in.
We did.
Yes, we did.
And with that being said, it's been another episode of the Sports Bros Podcast. We are happy to be back, and thank you for the years of support. We appreciate it now more than ever. And in closing, do something nice for yourself, and if you can, do something nice for someone else. They'll appreciate it now more than ever. It's been another episode of the Sports Bros Podcast. Y'all take care. Y'all love each other. Be safe. Yeah, just be good. Be good. Y'all take care. See you next week. Be live. Give it to me.
Yes, sir.
Shouldn't I be doing that now since my team's
No, you should. No, absolutely not. You will not. No, that is non-negotiable. You do not. No. No. I'm not even gonna let you come soon. Nothing. He's not getting.
The Sports Bros Plus, the stuff that doesn't make air, coming soon. See you next week.